Hi, I'm Kimberly, and thank you for checking out my take on the Stewmac 335 style guitar kit. I decided to do this video because there's just not a lot on this specific kit on the internet, and I figured that it would be helpful to anyone thinking about purchasing this kit what a non-professional guitar maker take on this particular kit is. With that said, I'm creating at the Tiger Artisans Guild. This is my workbench, and as you can see, there's a cigar box guitar there. I've created multiple cigar box guitars from 3 and 4 and 6 strings. So I'm not a total beginner. There's my axe. That's my cigar box guitar axe. But I definitely do not know how to play a 6-string guitar. Not really. And I'm trying to make my cigar box guitars more elegant. And so here is some snippets as I go. The one thing I can say is I've already taken the neck out. I've seated the frets, and I'll just show you what I've already used. I've used the fret kisser and have leveled the frets by pounding them in. I used a fret file to file the ends. And now I'm going to use the Stewmac neck radius profiler to profile the neck. I will say this, I will be making some templates out of this neck so that I can make more necks for the cigar box guitars that I'm wanting to make. One thing I do recommend is the Texas Toast Guitars video. Great video, learned a lot, and I'll probably refer to that video a few times. So I had thought about re-radiusing the neck profile to match this Stewmac profile jig that I have, like they did in the Texas Toast Guitars video. But ultimately, I don't think it needs it, and so I'm not going to. One thing I am going to do is take out this plastic nut and replace it with a bone nut. Hopefully, I don't ruin the guitar. Here we go. So I'm going to make this heel piece out of this piece of scrap gym flooring, which is the same stuff that I did my workbench out of. You can see I am a woodworker. I do some fiberglass. I've got plenty of wood. I'm not the most organized person. This is a skin on frame pedal drive boat that I've done. Another story for another day. So as you can see, the piece I made is a little bit thicker, not quite twice the thickness of the plastic piece that came with the kit. But when we put that there, it's going to look really good, especially after I glue it in place and then hit the outer edge with a file. Here's what the heel cap looks like after I've made it, glued it in place, and dried it. It looks like there's a little gap there, but that's actually filled in with glue. Not sure why it turned out quite like that, but I think it will be fine. I do wish I would have made the thickness of the heel cap all the way up to here, but you live, you learn. Other than that, I have wiped it down with acetone. I just drilled a hole in the back. I'm gonna hang it, and then I'm gonna start finishing it after I put some tape on here. In the meantime, while I'm taping the fretboard up, I am going to put 5-watt World on and listen to that, the Thursday chat, while I continue working on this. So I'm going to be using Rubio Monocoat on this guitar, and the one question I have is, will it stain the plastic? And so I put a little drop on here and leave it on for about 5 minutes and then wipe it off and see what it looks like. And the reason I'm doing that is the plastic binding on here. I need to know whether or not I have to cut little tiny 1/8 inch strips to block that off. Okay, so I have coated the body and neck with Rubio Monocoat, the pure, and if you take a look, you can see it brought out the flaming job of the plywood. You can see where the different aspects of the natural wood are. I had covered up the fretboard with masking tape, so that doesn't have anything on it. This is actually dry to the touch. Basically I'm treating it like a piece of furniture because I like the feel of the wood. But yeah, so we'll take it down tomorrow and probably maybe start assembling it. I do need to make more progress on this cigar box guitar right here. So the ES 335 kit may wait till the weekend. After the Rubio Monocoat dried, I used my favorite furniture wax to go over the top of the guitar. And now I'm getting ready to install the bridge and this Bigsby. And one thing you'll notice is the Bigsby is not long enough. And that is because I ordered a B7 for a Les Paul, not being a guitarist, not knowing that the 335, I just didn't realize this wasn't going to fit. I do believe that I can mount it just like that and that this is going to work out just fine, and so I'm going to try to put it in just like that. I'm not real worried about it. Keep in mind that I don't know how to play a 6-string. I barely know how to make these cigar box guitars that I make. I barely know how to make them sing, but what we're doing is we're learning. Going to make this Bigsby fit. One of the cool things about the Bigsby is it comes with a couple of different bolt sizes to fit into the bushings for this stop tailpiece. I'm not going to use the bridge that came with the kit. I'm going to use this roller bridge right here, which has a few different bushings. So we're just going to kind of see how this all fits together and go. I ran into my first major problem, and part of this is probably because I'm using a different part than what is included in the kit. But this particular roller bridge, either the bushings, which I believe its bushings didn't go in square. I have no idea how to take them out. So what's happening is the holes for the roller bushing don't go on. I don't know if you can see that. So we're gonna have to get a file out or tweak everything just a little bit. All right, I got the roller bridge on with a little bit of filing on the inside of where the posts go. It's just kind of sitting there waiting for it to be adjusted. The second issue I ran into is that the tuners that come with the kit are a different style than what I have been using. I really like these for my cigar box guitars, although I've been using economy tuners like these. But these bushings won't fit in the holes that are drilled all the way through in the kit. So I'll be using the bushings or the tuner machines that come with the kit. Okay, this is my very first time wiring an electric guitar. Part of the reason for doing this kit is to teach myself how to do this so that when I do my cigar box guitars, I know what the heck I'm doing. Had a lot of difficulty with that connection. Probably burned out the switch. I wish I would have used a Mastercraft or Switchcraft, a higher quality switch, but that's the switch that came in the kit. This connection right here, the solder ran down, so I may have ruined that pot. I don't actually know, but next up we're going to solder the leads together and onto this, and then we'll test everything. Wiring this up has been a bit difficult, but I've finally got everything to work just right. When I take and test that, it brings through the amp. Basically where I made a mistake is this black wire. I originally used it with shielding and grounded it, and for whatever reason that prevented it from working. This black wire is the output from the neck volume pot. Don't know why everything else can have a shielded wire, but that one, it didn't work. So went through, tested it with a multimeter and figured it out, and now we're going to try to wrestle everything into this kit. So while editing the video about this guitar kit, I've realized I did not talk about why I wired my own harness out of these CTS pots, which interestingly are badged for Stewmac. But I did this because the Texas Toast guitar video talks about this pre-made harness that they used in the kit that they did, and how these are pretty much an on and an off switch, not really a very linear type knob, volume knob or tone knob. And so listening to their video, learning from what they talked about, I immediately ordered the CTS pots, which interestingly are about twice the size of the ones that potentiometers that come with the kit. The other thing is that I showed you the wiring harness before it was installed in here, and I didn't talk about the experience of actually installing it. I made a template of all of this, and then I realized after trying to install it is the wire from the switch to the jack needs to be longer than this distance from there to here by at least 2 inches. I think I made mine closer to 3. And the other thing you'll notice on the wiring harness is that I wired the ground wire from here like this and around like that. Okay, for wrestling this in, it did not work that way. The way I needed to wire this, and ultimately did, was from the switch around these two pots, around like this here, and then another wire to this. That allowed me to put this particular knob in first, while all these 4 pieces were outside the cavity of the guitar. Yeah, but wanted to include this in the video because it's pretty important. Ultimately, it took me about 4 tries to get everything in here correctly. I finished the ES35 guitar kit from Stewmac yesterday, enough to actually play it and get it up on my front porch here. and this thing rocks. I still have a few details that I need to take care of. If you look, you can see the truss rod cover's not on there. I want to make a new one of those. It's wood and not plastic. I have a little bit of shaping to the nut. And remarkably, I put this particular humbucker in backwards in the ring, and then have the ring upside down. And so if you look, the angle's wrong. And so I'm going to mark the bone nut and then shape it, make that truss rod cover, and reposition all of that, put it back together and see how it sounds. And it is Friday now, and on Monday we will take this to our local guitar hero and get his seal of approval or his criticism, or both. Hopefully both, because we need positive and negative feedback to grow. So it's been a fun project, and yeah.